So, edutainment. I actually had to really work to find some stuff today. Because all the edutainment I knew about is 30 years old.
I mean,
even better.
That's kind of the purpose of this whole podcast.
I know, but I had to reach for it. Although I do have something slightly modern.
No, I feel like didn't we talk about some of these before though?
Some of these have been brought up in passing. Like we did the Because It's There episode, which had a few of these. I don't remember why we talked about Captain Novolin, but it derailed the entire conversation.
We broke a couple of y'all, I think.
I'm a little disappointed we don't have Pirate for this.
I am too.
Well, you could go pirate him.
I'm going to poke him real quick.
With a stick?
Not with a stick, no.
Why not? Is he not stick worthy?
He's not stickable.
Phrasing. Well, I can hear me.
That's good. You're definitely part of this.
I am also here.
Now are you over
now
here?
I am over here.
I knew. I had to call it. Hey, Lizzie.
Oh, no, I'm listening to the
you joining
stream
us?
To see how we're doing.
I don't think she is.
The kid sounded a bit rowdy.
I don't think you're him.
Oh, update. We still have not.
Oh, there's a Petrivka.
Lizzie.
Well, we'll accept your lurking,
Our Lizzie is
Lizzie.
still the top Lizzie.
I might have to fight in someone's stead because I have a niece named Lizzie.
For their honor or something?
Yep.
Okay, then. How's it going today, Petrivka?
Okay. I almost forgot, actually, that this was Wednesday.
That's okay. Baggins would have forgotten, too, if he didn't live with me.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is this is going to be an interesting one. Lizzie suggested this topic.
It is.
What is the top? I literally don't remember.
Edutainment.
Edutainment games.
Oh, it's mech games. Yes.
No, edutainment games.
Mech.
No.
So this is the surprise episode where we make you play through the entirety of Captain Novolin.
We already did that before, didn't we?
No, you have to play through it.
Not just watch it. Okay.
Wasn't Captain Novolin one of the more valuable things in your collection, Baggins?
Yes, it is.
How much is it worth?
Not drastically. It's just
Was that the weird NES game?
Super NES game about diabetes.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, what? Hold on. I'm just catching up to this. What is this now?
Well, just
you didn't watch the episode.
Save it.
We'll talk about it. Yep, we'll save it.
All right, I'm going to get us started.
Apparently I didn't.
Just to let you guys know, I am grabbing the first two topics today for specific reasons.
Oh, and I will, if it happens, I will post it, but I may drop suddenly because I am technically on call tonight.
All right, no worries. All right, let me get this started.
Make me choose topics for stupid reasons.
When I was a kid, mostly I could never do anything with the computer because it was my dad's work computer. But eventually he got edutainment games. And I found out that we had this game called Super Muncher. And I knew it was going to be a lot like my buddy who had Number Muncher. But this game was so much cooler than Number Muncher because it wasn't just math. And also the troggles would eat each other, which I found really awesome. But more importantly, if you got your munch meter high enough, you could transform into Super Muncher. If I could find a spot on this video. Yes, there. There it is. And you can then just blow up the trogs. It's great. Troggles. Sorry, not trogs. Troggles. Anyway, Super Muncher was amazing. It even had a plot and everything. This is episode 62 of I Think We Overleveled, and we're covering edutainment games, suggested by Lizzie. How's it going today, guys?
It's going well. This is going to be a fun one.
What
We've
in
covered.
God's name am I looking at here?
This is Super Muncher. This is Super Muncher for the monsters are actually quite horrifying.
I don't.
As is the hero.
He's fine. He's just basically like the alien Muppets, the Yip
Ooh,
Yips.
And
Super
Alien
Muncher.
Muppet Kirby.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I loved this game as a little kid just because it just had trivia for everything and not just numbers or reading or something.
And that's how you know who Walt Whitman is.
Exactly. This guy clearly doesn't know who Daniel Boone is. It took him forever to figure it out. There's at one point 5 Daniel Boones on the screen. He couldn't figure it out. But there was also a plot, and you had to stop the evil Dr. Trogelstein, who he's made this giant Troggle monster. And what you're watching is I think canonically the first ever ending cinematic I've ever seen for a video game. And they turn into a duck.
I don't know. I want to say Lode Runner, and did Lode Runner have an ending scene, or was it Bomberman? All I know is one where the ending of the game was becoming the other character, like Lode Runner becoming Bomberman or Bomberman becoming Lode Runner. I can't remember which direction.
Got it. Well, so that was
my sister, my brother.
So I asked my coworkers because I was like, hey, I want to make sure to get like all the edutainment games out there. And so can you guys like say ones that maybe you've played or your kids played, whatever? And I inadvertently started one of the bigger fights ever in my workplace's history.
Like what counts as edutainment, maybe, or what was
specifically
what was the fight about?
One thing in particular, and I wanted to get your guys' input. Is Duolingo an edutainment game?
Oh gosh.
What, the app?
No,
It's a gamified. It's the opposite, actually. It's a gamified lesson plan.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not. I don't consider it a game. It's a. I don't know. It's like a tool to learn, but I mean, it's kind of been gamified.
It's gamified doesn't make it a game.
Blank,
There's an argument to be made for it.
Yeah.
Something about it makes my skin itch.
Like there's an argument to be made for it. It's not a good argument.
Conversation.
And that doesn't mean it'll win.
Bad. I agree.
I don't know. It was just one of those things I didn't expect.
Lizzie knows what's up. It's gamified learning. That's exactly what it is, which is not the same thing as a learning game.
It was just one of those things that I didn't.
Education, yeah.
I just didn't expect this to be the thing that caused chaos in my team's chat.
It's not edutainment. It's education.
Wow, that does not.
Well, I don't even view it as a
Absolutely not.
game,
No.
honestly. I mean, I don't know. I guess we said it's gamified, but like, not really. I mean,
like
it's like homework, but it has pictures and makes a sound. It'd be like, I mean, that's like a lot of kids' homework looks
And
like
commercials.
this.
Don't forget commercials.
It's like if homework made a sound. I don't know.
The gameplay is terrible.
Well, and I just want to throw this out here. What it is that, and I don't have this myself, but a couple of my friends have an app which basically gamifies chores, and like you get XP, quote unquote, for chores, and you level up your quote unquote character for doing your chores and stuff like that. I don't know what the name is. Probably. There's a few of them out. There's a few of them out there, and all it does is just gamifies the act itself, which is not making their chores into a game. It's just fooling them into doing the chores for a reward that isn't there. Like
that's like the opposite. That's like the opposite of an app-assisted board game. It's real life assisted.
Yeah,
app.
Though it reminds me of,
that's what I view though. Duolingo is an educational game. It's like no.
Well, okay,
that's not funny.
Though it does beg the question, and something I brought up earlier in an earlier podcast was that that trivia game that came on in Carta 95 that was the maze. What was it called? Goodness, I had to find it once. It took me forever to think of it.
The fact that it had game in the title, though, already speaks volumes.
But I mean, you just answered riddles. You just had to answer trivia questions, and then you could select. It was like kind of a dungeon crawler, but to move to the next room, you had to answer a question. But even that still had more of a game, because at least it had like a dungeon and a maze to travel through, whereas this is literally just doing homework.
There's actual gameplay there,
I mean, they do have a track to learn how to play chess. So I mean, there is literal gameplay.
There's a game to learn how to play a game.
Hey, chess already is a game.
I don't know how to feel about that, and so I'm just going to pretend that that wasn't a sentence that I just heard. So cool.
I'm just glad to see that this grenade still had some kick to it.
Yeah, you just let that loose on us. You didn't say fire in the hole or anything.
No, I needed it to be as innocent a question as it was when I asked it the first time.
But I think we all agree here that it's not a game.
It's a good thing I'm already here, because I would have joined the conversation if it wasn't.
Anyway, so
is that like the power pad is a
and another thing
add it to the list. Anyway, no, so I want to start off with that just to kind of set some ground rules type of thing. Now, there was something that happened in the pre-show we need to address.
Okay.
Commie-Zite doesn't know about Captain Novolin because he wasn't there for that episode.
Okay, here we go.
Either I wasn't there for it or I blocked it from memory. What episode was it?
I don't remember which one.
2 or 3 episodes ago.
I don't remember.
I feel like it was longer ago.
I haven't.
Than that.
I haven't been. I haven't been on an episode in
we've talked about it more than that.
I think
we've talked about it more than that. But I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes ago that we unleashed it on Petrivka.
Anyway,
last week was the first time I'd been back in a while, so it would have been earlier.
Okay.
Captain
Maybe I'm remembering
Novolin.
wrong.
Would you like to explain, Baggins? He's a big fan of it. He has the actual cartridge.
1991. A young Baggins was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes and was basically learning how to live with this whole thing. And there was a video game about it that was more advertisement for Novo Nordisk than actual game. The main character was named Captain Novolin. His superpower was that he was diabetic. He had to save the mayor, who was also diabetic and had been kidnapped by the evil alien Blubberman.
Okay.
He has to go through...
So far, pretty standard. Wait till you see the
each
gameplay.
day, avoiding aliens who had mutated into his arch nemesis, cookies and jelly donuts and other sugary treats that he has to avoid, while also getting a healthy meal but not too much of it and managing his blood sugar. I wish I were kidding.
I mean, it's not the worst idea for having a kid that needs to learn how to responsibly take over this.
Yeah, but wait till you see
Certainly
the gameplay.
I mean, I'm watching the gameplay right now, and that's definitely something. But this is like 1991. What do you expect?
Man, it was bad.
All the things that exist, that is one of them.
But I just looked it up on a pricing guide. The lowest priced one that is appears to be for sale is $80. And there were some going as high as $120.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
For as bad a game as this is.
But I mean, even though this is incredibly niche, this is an educational game, like 100%. You're learning how to deal with something.
Except I see him still picking up a lot of carbs for food.
He's doing bad. You noticed when he checked his blood sugar, it was high.
He's getting bread and oatmeal and fruit. I'm like, what's going on?
That multiple choice quiz, though, that's the only actual, quote, educational part of this game.
Yeah, otherwise it's like a platformer.
Are these people who I see?
This is his doctors.
Like, is that a real doctor, or is that just like?
That's his doctors.
Oh, okay.
My favorite thing is his falling animation. What is going on with his shoulders?
He's bracing himself for impact. Watch out for the nougat bar.
And the chin on that soda.
All I know is I'm not seeing like any protein or fatty choices. Everything's carbs.
Milk is protein.
Okay, fair enough.
And peanut butter crackers, which you had earlier, have protein.
Yeah, but both of those are still loaded with carbs.
They're not loaded with carbs. You're supposed to have some carbs. It's just managing.
Oh my goodness.
Fair enough.
See, he's picked up too much.
Okay, there's cheese. But he skipped the cheese.
It's because he's gotten too much stuff. His blood sugar is high.
Guys, I found out that someone speed ran this at AGDQ.
Wait, what? Oh my goodness!
There's an end like speed run. How? Like to what?
To win? I don't know.
Is there a win state? I wasn't even really clear on that.
Apparently, there is a win state.
Is it when you get to Oregon? I mean,
the win state is to walk away.
I mostly wanted to point out that this existed.
Like, how long is the speed run? Like, are we?
We spent far too long.
7 minutes. Speaking of Oregon, maybe the original Edutainment game.
This is the version that I played back in the day. Just to date myself.
What, you didn't play the one with you didn't play the one with the punch cards?
I actually no, I don't think this is even the version I have. This is nicer graphics than the version I had. The one I had looked even chunkier than this, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, my school had a fancy one on the Apple IIe.
Yeah, Apple IIe was probably the first one a lot of us were exposed to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think this looks similar.
No, this is. I don't think this is the version that I had. Because the one I had was almost like ASCII art.
This actually has like lines.
Indeed.
I love how just like in XCOM, they force you to name your party so that you will get attached to them. So when they die, it hurts more.
Of dysentery.
Dayton and Colt. Man, this is way too modern for these names.
What, you don't think Caden and Ashlyn would be on the drive?
No, I mean, it's too modern even for the original 1980 release.
Well, I mean, this video's on YouTube, so it's clearly a...
No, it's like those are names given to people born in the late 1900s.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Oregon Trail, everyone has memories of Oregon Trail. Some version of Oregon Trail, because how many versions are there really?
It was one of the few video games we were asked to play at school.
I think actually the first one I was exposed to was a newer version, one of the earlier Windows versions. Mm-hmm. Had MIDI soundtrack, and it was kind of nice.
How many people spent all of their time hunting and bringing back way more meat than you're able to carry?
Of course.
All the buffalo.
That's why you bought all the bullets, so you could bring back all the buffalo.
It's like, oh, don't buy
They're not going to make themselves extinct on their own. Come on.
Get it. I'll do it live.
Yeah, that was the part of the game I liked playing. I didn't understand why everyone kept dying. And why did they even give us the option to ford the river? It never worked.
Of course,
If it were shallow,
man. Ford the river, man. Ford it.
If it were shallow.
Yeah, if it's shallow, you can ford it.
The Sweetwater
You just have to
River.
pay attention to the.
Yeah, I didn't understand how
conditions.
it worked.
Oh, no one understood how it worked when we actually played it. They introduced this game far too young.
So I kind of really got into Oregon Trail, and I got what I considered when I was, in my tween years, what I considered the definitive edition. It was Oregon Trail 2.
Amazon Trail?
No, Oregon Trail 2. It was.
Oh, no. Amazon Trail was just a separate game. I was thinking Oregon Trail 2 was an
entirely different game. Yeah. Oregon Trail 2 came in a pine box. It had I remember. It had orchestrated, music. It had actors, that you would interact with along the trail and in the forts and towns. It was fantastic. I mean, it had, you could go to Utah, you could go to California, you could go to Oregon.
I remember.
Lots of options.
It had a lot of trails.
It was fantastic.
I didn't realize it lets you go to... Yeah, okay, I was thinking, have I played that one? But no, I don't remember being able to choose California or Utah as the other options.
You could go from Nauvoo to Utah if you wanted.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, you totally... I mean, that was a family home evening activity sometimes for our family. Is we were going to get in the dang wagon in 1847... we were going to the Great Basin.
Yeah, tell your mom I said hi.
Will do.
The other thing that is just about this game that was just so weird was just the fact that they didn't really explain anything. It just sort of existed,
Well, Oregon Trail 2 came with one of those, classic computer manuals. It was a book.
Well, I think Oregon Trail 1 had one too, but if it was one thing
at school, we didn't have access to it.
Yeah, it was only school I had access to it.
No, totally. And if we are done talking about the trail, which is arguably the most popular of the edutainments, I would like to bring up what I would consider the most successful of the edutainment ones. And that is, of course, it spawned countless TV shows, including a game show, countless spin-offs. Where in the world is
one of the absolute best of the gaming historians' videos.
Oh man, I love this game too at school. It was great.
Yeah, it was at school. It was everywhere. Taught you geography. Isn't that great? I mean,
thanks to this game, I actually knew what the heck Mount St. Helens even was.
Exactly.
Mount St. Helens.
See, my game in this area was actually We're in Time. Was Carmen Sandiego.
Totally. All of them were really good.
Oh, the inferior TV show burns.
I'm not talking about the TV show. The TV show was just
TV show.
The TV show existed, and I didn't even find out about the TV show until years later.
Oh, I definitely watched
I knew the original TV show. I knew the original TV show.
Three TV shows, Netflix has a TV show that they did as well.
Is Carmen Sandiego.
No, but we're talking about the game shows.
But to also kind of put a point on this, recently, last week, when AEW was in Mexico, I've brought this wrestler up to Splice before. Timeless Tony Storm showed up in disguise, and her disguise was she was dressed as Carmen Sandiego when she went to attack the women's world champion Mercedes Moné, and everyone could clearly see that's what she was going for. So, I mean, Carmen Sandiego is one of the most recognizable characters from these. Oregon Trail is super recognizable. Everyone from our generation knows it, but there's no one character. Carmen is iconic.
The red trench coat,
stylish
red hat.
Exactly. Just even in the cartoon, even in the game show, and its unfortunate successor game show, and the other TV show, and the third TV show that Netflix did, always just carrying on that whole, engaging, giving everyone like, hey, we're going to this place. This is what this place is known. Because you could go through all the TV shows and they all pretty much have the same format that the game is. You're going to this place. They're going to explain what this place is known for, what the thing is there that they're going to steal, the history behind it, and maybe we're going to throw in some geographical like landmarks or something like that, or things about like famous museums or famous battles or events in histories that happened around there that makes this pretty much super special. Like, and it's just classic point and click as well, which
now here's a question.
I love. Sure.
Would this game series everything show have been successful if it wasn't for Rockapella?
No.
Making it stuck in our head in the first place.
Made that TV show.
It made the game show, but it also made us more intrigued to play the game too because the song stuck in our head so much.
Oh,
it also got a lot more people interested. It also got a lot more people interested in acapella.
I think the thing is that like it's the pop song thing. Like if you can get like something catchy, then you pull everyone else in with the rest of it. Because of the way my school fell, I would always get home like in the last 10 to 15 minutes of the show. And so until I was an adult, I never saw the beginning of the show unless I was sick. Like I would just see the end where they would do the end where they would go around and they'd put the flag on the map.
That was almost impossible. Almost no one completed that stage.
Right. But regardless, I mean, I remember playing this and being... Sorry, I thought I heard an alarm go off. I remember playing this, and this was like probably how I got through geography, if I'm not lying, because I wasn't that good. Here's a little thing about DKZ here. I have no sense of direction whatsoever. Like I once made three right turns in a square block and ended up in the same spot, and no one can figure out how, including me.
North is up, right?
North is whichever way you're facing.
There we go.
West is over there. Now it's over there.
The thing that Carmen Sandiego taught me was how to use an encyclopedia, essentially.
Oh, encyclopedias! I remember those.
What are the what's it called? Gazetteer? Can't remember. It comes with the game.
The Gazetteer, that has like a list of map places.
Okay. What was the...
I'm not sure what you're thinking of then.
Are you thinking of an atlas?
Yeah, an atlas. There we go.
Book of Maps.
Almanac?
It could be an almanac.
Are
it's definitely
you talking about the big book was an almanac?
Okay, then it was an almanac.
And or an encyclopedia, depending on...
I'm fairly certain it was an almanac.
Atlas is the one that has the maps.
So...
Sorry, I was only half listening to the conversation, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. The books that came with Carmen Sandiego were almanacs / encyclopedias.
Oh, they had books. I mean, I never bought any of these.
That was their what's it called? Digital DRM.
Yeah.
Oh, it was one of those like on page whatever. Tell me.
But it was like it was like a 1,000-page.
Well, and you kind of need it for the game.
Reference book. Yeah. Well, the thing is, the entries are tailored to the game.
Yeah. Well, because it's over.
I never came across Carmen though. I was so upset.
No, never. It's a grind to get to Carmen.
Yeah.
Oh, in the game?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so long since I played it. I'm trying to think if I ever caught it.
Honestly, this was not the version I played the most. I played Where in Space as Carmen Sandiego. That was the one that my parents bought for me.
Though, if I'm honest, I think I probably watched the cartoon far more than I ever played the game. Largely because the game I could only play at school. But
yeah, definitely. I mean,
I don't know.
I watched the game show every day, like every day.
Oh yeah, well you know how they always have the question of, do you remember where you were when this huge event happened? And it's like they asked that question, like, do you remember where you were on September 7th, 2000? I'm like, I was watching Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego cartoon. I remember.
And that was just always the answer.
Every day, at some point, you were watching it.
Well, no. I remember it got interrupted with the news broadcast of it happening. It was before school. But I'll always remember it because, whenever they ask, do you remember where you were? I'm like, yeah, actually I do. And I remember what I was doing. I was watching Carmen Sandiego.
Was that the cartoon one?
Yeah, the cartoon. I mean, I think it was after it was already done. It was just
Yeah, it was just some reruns or whatever.
Just before school, turn on the
morning.
TV.
Yeah, it had been in the morning.
Yeah, it was a before school. Yeah.
I just remember that the game show was always sponsored by Toyota.
Oh, the game show was pretty awesome too.
I thought they had some, but I don't know. I don't really remember the sponsors. I just remember Rockapella.
Viewers like you.
Wait, was it on PBS? What?
Yeah, game show was on PBS.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
didn't they sell it to him for like $1 or something?
They sold it for nothing.
6 o'clock hour, I think, is what it was for me.
It's all covered in the. It's actually it's a really good gaming historian video because he goes into the whole history of the game and what it led to.
There's a good Defunct Land episode.
That was Defunct Land. I kept saying gaming historian. Yes, Defunct Land.
Oh, I was thinking, okay, yeah, that was the one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, sorry. I was confusing it because Gaming Historian did an Oregon Trail one, which we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
No, it's a Defunct
I haven't
Land.
seen that. Defunct
It's really
Land.
good.
Okay. Maybe I should check that out sometime if I remember.
Yeah, it's a fairly interesting thing. But yeah, and part of the whole thing is the lawyer that was consulting, I can't remember the name of the guy who made it, basically convinced him to sell it to PBS for nothing so that it's just a pure charity write-off and he can it's just free advertising for the game.
I mean,
it probably worked because I mean, like I said, the success of this game, I feel like, is because the Rockapella song got stuck in our head.
PBS was piped into every home, so
yeah. As far as free advertising goes, it's pretty dang good.
It was a different time that decade. Holy cow!
Oh yeah, I mean that was you had cable barely, but.
Well, I'm just thinking, my kids, they don't even know what a cable channel is.
Well, yeah, I mean, linear TV is not a thing to.
No, no, everything's video on demand. They're like, wait, this is live?
Why did my show
commercials?
Stop? When we'd be at a hotel or something, they turn on the television and they're like, why did the show stop?
They will never know the abject terror of having to run to the bathroom during a commercial break and having your sibling yell, "It's starting!"
Oh, yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, if we wanted to watch the show again, we had to put in a VHS and we had to record it.
What's a VHS?
We had to turn the UHF dial both ways.
Oh, no, with the old dials. There we go.
But we had to get a screwdriver if we wanted to attach something to connect a system or something to the back.
Oh my gosh, yes, I had a TV I had to use a screwdriver to connect the Nintendo to.
When we connected our video games, it had to be on channel 3 or 4.
Your choice, you just had to flip a switch.
You had a choice,
You just had to figure out which one you wanted.
Dude, channel 3 all the way, right?
Yes, channel 3.
I mean, it's the only
I had to do channel 4 because channel 3 was the news. And
channel 4 was NBC for us growing up.
So, someone here put Mario as missing, and this is amazing.
Oh, Mario's missing, yes.
Because this game sucks.
I wanted to bring it. I wanted to because, and I'll get into it now that it's been brought up. There's also another one on here right below it, which you'll notice is Donkey Kong Jr. Math.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't find I was like researching stuff in between stuff, and then I got on my making music trip today. But like, this was a part of a subset of games where Nintendo like did this edutainment. It was this, and then there was also like a subset of games called Mario: The Early Years, which is about.
There was a typing one as well.
Don't forget Luigi's Time Machine.
Yeah, Luigi's Time Machine. And like these were all like Nintendo based. And I don't remember whether Nintendo, I don't think Nintendo did these. I think Nintendo licensed the characters for someone else to do them. And this was put out there. And as you can see from the format, this is SNES era. I don't think these were cartridges, if I'm remembering.
No, they were cartridges.
It was a cartridge. We rented this from Blockbuster.
Yep, I did.
Wait, was it actually an SNES cartridge?
Yeah.
I guess for some reason I thought it would have been like a PC game because I kind of always associated Edutainment with
I think
PC.
I think they had a PC port.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of because I've seen the PC
I played
port.
it on the SNES.
I'm sorry, are we not talking about the fact that Luigi jumped on a Koopa and unraveled them from existence?
I mean, that happens.
Did you look at that?
It's usually a Yoshi thing. Well,
or if you
do a
spin jump, yeah.
Yeah.
Although he's talking about the warping reality.
Yeah, the warping into space.
Like, what happened there?
Clearly, like, you know, he unmade the Koopa.
Apparently, we do not want to piss. And these turtles don't even interact with him. He's just killing them out of spite.
I mean, Mario was missing. That's like John Wick and his dog, man. Like, why you don't play?
Also, apparently, Peach has come upon some rough times. She's now working in a ticket stand.
Well, I mean, like,
Mom, Dad, what's a newspaper?
You know that thing we sometimes get to do paper mache?
Oh, yeah, 35 cents.
It's also in English.
What's a cent?
But like these particular like games, I guess were to make like these educational games more fun. Like somebody mentioned here going to Blockbuster. I can say that like if I went to Blockbuster and I ended up with this game, it was by accident and it was because they fooled me because I was like,
for sure it was a disappointment when we got this. So it was like, wait, this is what this game is?
I was the kind of nerd who I was disappointed at the gameplay, but I still enjoyed the learning aspect of
we still played it. Yeah. I mean, like, it's not like we have it.
You put down your money, you play it. But I mean, that's bad.
That doesn't hold true anymore, though.
Okay,
the Koopa exploded.
What is going on with Luigi and these Koopas? This game is a lot more bloodthirsty than I remember.
He's looking for brother.
He's looking for blood. It looks like
he has a very particular set of skills. Okay.
Yeah, and apparently it's to alter how the Koopa body works when he stomps on it.
I mean, yeah.
What the
I feel like this is kind of like the predecessor to the Flash games, the violent.
Yeah. The thing that's fun about this is Petrivka and I actually went to Rome.
That we did.
And we went to the fountain they were just talking about.
We did go to this fountain.
So
together?
Yeah, I went on a singles cruise for my 30th birthday.
Oh, nice.
And he came along, and then just like a couple weeks later, got engaged.
No, actually, I was engaged before I went.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm. Sorry, I invited him. He said he was going to come. Then he started dating somebody, and then got engaged before we actually went.
I mean, we put down the deposit on it like months in advance. So.
Yes. But you had. I think you were just before, or it was right before, or right after you started dating. Now, why?
Yeah, it was close.
So this Donkey Kong Jr. game, it's on the Switch, Nintendo Online.
Oh, it's on the online.
Yeah, it was originally on the NES.
Yeah, it was originally NES, but you could play it on there. And
yeah.
And you know, one of my kids challenged me to the multiplayer competitive on this. And
Jeez Louise, these aren't easy. 376 times 66.
Wow, it was easy to school my kid, you know, that way to show him like I'm still the king of the video game.
This is how you do long multiplication, boy.
This is math, yo.
I'm impressed. Like normally with these things, it's, pretty simple, but 376.
Yeah, because I remember just there having simple. I don't remember there being like
this is no math blaster,
compound math on it. But
speaking
which I do have on here, I added that because although I never played it, I know that was in many computer labs in many places.
Apparently mine doesn't work, so we're gonna have to go with the newer, edgier one with modern art.
Look at that vector art.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
this is not the version I remember.
Okay, so actually, this took me down a little bit of a rabbit hole. So,
okay,
if Math Blaster lasted a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, I guess. Like this has a lot more animation.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna let's see if I can bring images over.
Yeah, the one I remember just had like a green astronaut guy.
Okay, so I am gonna go into our.
Is he actually gonna do any math blasting?
No, it's now a cinematic universe, like everything is.
Also, so this looks like a cartoon show.
Yeah,
I
feel like the same people that did Eek the Cat did this animation.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
it has
like
that Fox Family 90s kind of look.
Okay, so I am gonna try. Let's see. How do I? No, I don't want to set my status. I just want to open the chat. Thank you. Okay, so this is the Genesis one, but just sharing it in chat. This is sort of the box art I'm used to. And I will try and display this in a way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the...
Yeah.
Well, I think the version I had looked even different from that. But
so that was the Genesis one.
It's closer. This is closer to what I played mine on PC.
Once again, I thought that was PC only. I didn't realize there were console ports at all.
Yeah. Then it appears they at some point.
This is actually. I wonder if this is part of the reason why it took me a while to get into PC games, because when I was really young, to me, PC games was all the edutainment games that weren't that good.
So then, as time went on,
they yassified them.
Somewhere this girl character came in. I don't know where, but she came in somewhere. Okay, yeah, that's one. As well.
Yeah, that's the one that I grew up with.
Okay, well.
For Windows 95, that's right.
Then there's the one that we just saw here, which is this sort of, I don't know what to call it other than like flash animation style.
Yeah, it was.
That's pretty much what it is.
It's kind of what you were showing.
Did you know they got what I can only describe as a reboot?
Like in the last decade? Whoa!
Oh my goodness, that looks like it was made by the people that did Reboot.
Yeah, like you said, the
reboot. Like, look at that hair, man.
Man, what?
It's got like chrono hair there.
Chrono hair Goku, practically. My goodness.
So, do you care to guess what system this was for?
I'm gonna guess
3DO.
PlayStation 1.
Neo Geo.
Well, you would all be wrong.
Jaguar?
Check out
Dreamcast?
the Nintendo DS.
Oh boy.
He looks even more yassified than that one.
In the Prime Adventure.
Wow.
His boots now look like robot boots.
Okay, the Prime Adventure for Math Blaster, that's actually a brilliant name, I must say. Well done. Well done.
Oh, man.
Made by Jesco, whoever the crap that is.
I'm sure it's far removed from David's.
Majesco. Actually, that name I think I've seen elsewhere.
I may have heard of it, yeah.
Majesco.
While y'all are talking about this game, do y'all want to hear what I was playing to, like, my early math
ahead.
game was? My earliest one?
I don't know. Do we want to hear this?
Remember, this was on my first computer, which I believe I've already told you. The brand, it was a Hyundai.
Just so you had a Hyundai brand computer.
PC, yes, I did.
Now I'm played running on a gas engine.
Kindercop.
What the heck?
Not Kindercop.
This sounds like something.
Comp.
Oh my gosh! I was expecting Schwarzenegger.
I had to put in a 5 1/4-inch floppy disk to play this game.
Put my cookie down.
Okay, Psychonauts was published by Majesco.
Oh wow, those guys.
That's right. Oh my goodness, yes, now I remember.
So I was going to say, I know that name.
And I remember it was not a pleasant story.
So they had a scribbling simulator.
Oh geez. It's Snake, but without the fun.
It was entirely controlled by the keyboard.
Oh gosh.
We had sequences.
My dad one time demoed like some TI thing that was similar to this. Texas Instruments thing.
Oh, like with the cartridges? Like with the keyboard with the cartridge slot?
Yes, but it did hook up to the television.
Yes,
I can't remember what the thing was called, but
it was just a TI something.
TI something. Yeah, but it had similar kind of like thing to this Kindercomp with the drawing pixel art. May have had game. I don't remember doing much with it. But the drawing
TI 99/4.
Wow. Very descriptive name.
It was a keyboard that had a cartridge slot on the right. And the only way that you could save was with like cassette tapes.
That's probably why I never did much with it.
So yes, this was Kindercomp. But then I graduated to, where is it? The Super Solvers games. Did y'all play any of these?
Super Solvers. I need to see a picture.
Wait, maybe.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Company.
This is what I was trying to find in the past when I was...
The Learning Company has a lot of these kinds of games. Yes.
There was a whole series of them. My first one was Outnumbered. It was a math one. I got it for my probably like my 7th or 8th birthday, I think.
I came late to this series.
It's like a robot. Yeah. And like you'd run into robots that were like
Is your character a guy with a blue jacket? Yeah. The yellow shorts.
I was trying to think what this was named because it's like I remember playing this at school, but I don't remember what it's called.
I am having core memories unlocked by seeing this.
See what a lot of people played was Treasure Mountain, which is the same guys, but he's got like a little Robin Hood hat instead of his cap, and
there's a whole series of these.
Yeah. My favorite was Ancient Empires, which was the history one, but it also felt more like the most.
Man, this guy is just absolutely boppy.
You played that one? That was like a platformer.
Yep.
And you had like the little headlamp that you had to shoot off of like spinning mirrors and stuff.
His walking animation, he is just jamming.
He is confident.
Yes, Ancient Empires. Oh my gosh.
He's got that Learning Company swagger.
Loved this game.
I think the one you were showing before is the one that I remember.
That's the one I remember as well.
There was also the Midnight Rescue, which is one where you're walking around a school, but instead of a laser remote, you have a camera, and there's also robots.
Oh, maybe that was the one I was thinking of.
That seemed to be the more popular one, but again, I loved math, so.
I played Gizmos and Gadgets. That was the one that I came in on.
I don't remember that one.
It was a later one. I mean, I played it on Windows, so that tells you already that it was.
Yeah, because I know the Learning Company also did like the Reader Rabbit series.
Reader Rabbit, yeah, that was a big one. My siblings were into that. I was too old for it.
But yeah, no, these games were great.
Man, that walking animation. I aspire to have the amount of confidence.
Have the swagger.
Yeah, that this kid has. Okay, I need to write this joke down. That would be good for a video.
Walk with the confidence of the
hero from
the hero of the Super
Empires.
Solvers.
Oh, Midnight Rescue. Yep, that's the one. That is the one with all the robots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Gizmos
my
and Gadgets
goodness.
was fantastic because it was engineering. Like you had to build like cars and aircraft, and you had to beat the evil Dr. Wily or whatever equivalent he was in a race.
Timu Dr. Wily.
Yeah, basically. But you had to like collect like the superior, stuff by solving science problems. They gave you like little there were magnets involved for some of them.
How did they work?
There were circuits. It was cool. Gizmos and Gadgets was dope.
I got its place.
I did too.
Man, just the way he's walking.
Master of mischief. I mean, this is the most 90s thing. Look at those shorts.
Oh, this is like an adventure game.
Well, yeah, it's like a puzzle adventure game, and yes, that robot. I remember it.
Splat.
Man,
Bad robot.
I forgot about this entirely.
Oh no, he got you with its trick.
Yeah, I can never forget these. These are just such core memories for me of that era.
And he's just strutting around and casually does a somersault jump. I mean, geez, man.
I mean, he is the Super Solver, so.
Is that like the Super Sniffer from Psych?
I've never watched Psych. I was more of a Burn Notice guy.
Is one of the best characters TV has ever produced.
Good old
took
Burn
your
Notice.
film. Oh my gosh.
I actually just watched the series finale of Burn Notice last night.
So good. USA does not get...
It's a little bittersweet, but yeah. I think that is definitely their best show.
Oh, Burn Notice? Without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, Monk is a close second, I would say.
Knowing people who are actually for realsies OCD, it's charming enough, but
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't
effective
know.
detective.
I didn't think that hardly about it.
I didn't have much of a choice in thinking that hardly about it, but I don't think USA shows get nearly the credit they deserve for being just on point. Because Psych was a great one, Burn Notice was a great one, Monk was a great one. Yeah. The Dead Zone was a USA original as well. Most people don't remember Anthony Michael Hall.
See, I watched the USA. I've tried several of them, but there was just something about. I don't know if it was the camera quality or the composition, but there was a common thread among how they looked and just how they felt that was just a little bit off.
Well, and everything, every USA show comes down to it's this thing with a twist. Because Burn Notice is he's a spy, but twist, he's been burned. The Psych is, twist, he's psychic. But double twist, he's not really psychic.
But yeah,
Suits is twist, they wear suits. Also, I think one of them wasn't really a lawyer.
White Collar was pretty good too.
White Collar was pretty good. That show was good because Mozzie was an A+ a character, and getting to see Tiffany Amber Thiessen again, worth it.
Yeah. Oh, man. The thing is I bought the complete series of Burn Notice and White Collar as a set. Came with both of them.
Okay.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting because as I'm watching him, I'm like, okay, you see, Matt Bomber, playing different roles, but it's like, they're all still basically Neil Caffrey. He's just slightly different flavors of the suave guy. Whereas in Burn Notice, you see Jeffrey Donovan playing so many, like a huge wide array of roles, whether being like a suave guy or a hardcore like Rambo or like a guy, or trying to be like a weak asthmatic nerd that is being pushed, that he wants to be pushed around by the people he's infiltrating, like
a country hick or something like that.
No.
Yeah, just such a range. Whereas it's like, in White Collar they didn't have that big range. He was always just a suave guy every time.
Now, White Collar is the one.
Bruce Campbell.
That's true.
White Collar is the one with Matt Bomer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, White Collar's Matt Bomer. Yeah.
Yeah, he was Bryce Larkin and Chuck.
Bryce Larkin.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
He was also the voice of Negative Man in Doom Patrol, which if you guys are into superheroes, they're not paying me to say this, but like if you guys are into superheroes, but you're really kind of tired of the standard superhero show, and you got access to HBO Max, highly recommend it. It's something. We'll say that much. It's off the rails, and Timothy Dalton shows up in a bunch of episodes. That's the professor.
Well, as much as I'd like to keep talking television.
Yeah, so Mind Maze, I brought this up earlier. This was a game, and the thing is, would you consider this a game because you're going through a maze? I mean, I feel like it is, but you have to answer trivia questions. But it actually came with the Microsoft Encarta 95 encyclopedia disc.
I never had Encarta.
So like,
I had Conference.
So like you'd have the encyclopedia open, and then you'd hit Control Z, and it'd bring up the menu for this game, and then you can play it, and you're trying to get to the end of the maze and make it through different levels, and you have to answer trivia questions to do it. And I don't know, I kind of thought it was fun.
This is some serious trivia. This is a good education.
This reminds me a little bit of
kind of game in and of itself.
Well, it's kind of, trying to encourage you to read through the encyclopedia. Also, the fact that up until this point, like not that long before getting Microsoft Encarta 95, like my parents had bought like an entire encyclopedia set that I don't even want to know how much money that was.
Set
we had a
bookshelf
that took up an entire bookshelf and probably altogether weighed like 200 pounds, and then to have that be replaced with a single CD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, paid in installments, and now it's replaced with just a single CD.
Well, now it's replaced with a wiki.
With Patrick Stewart on it.
And now it's replaced with yearly begging for money every December.
Yeah.
All I know is all we had was the encyclopedia with the letter V.
You only had one volume?
Is that a Friends reference?
That is a Friends reference.
I was not expecting Friends references from Splice.
I don't know why that joke stuck with me. Where Joey only has $50 in his pocket. And so he has to pick one letter, and you find out he picked V.
The fact that Penn Jillette is the one who sold it to him is also a nice little bit. So this actually reminds me of another one that I played back in the day. Were any of y'all familiar with the Dr. Brain games?
That sounds familiar.
By Sierra. There was the Castle of Dr. Brain, the Island of Dr. Brain.
Oh, no, I don't think I have.
So these were like...
I do know... This reminded me of another Sierra game, but go ahead.
His castle, like the look of it was always to me kind of reminiscent of Dr. Wily's castle, but it's basically just he's puts out an ad for a new apprentice, and it plays like a classic Sierra point and click adventure, except that it's first person, so it's like just you have scenes, and there's all sorts of puzzles. Like there's puzzles in different brain teaser areas. Like there's spatial recognition, there's math, there's like pattern recognition, like all sorts of stuff. A little bit of code breaking. Great games. These were a lot of fun. And they had multiple difficulty levels that gave you different kinds of puzzles with each of them.
Sudoku right there, huh?
Well, this is a magic square.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what...
Like a
concept
small Sudoku.
It's like Sudoku, but it's
easier.
It's because it's adding rather than
fair
like
enough.
It's math rather than because with Sudoku you could play it with colored stones.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm surprised we haven't brought up this game at all. Just because it might be one of the more financially successful ones. The Brain Age series.
Oh yeah,
Brain Age series.
These were great.
Oh,
it was a big deal.
It was.
It even made it into Smash.
Yep.
I just didn't ever have it.
Yeah, the power of math.
I do know
Wayne Twain.
I think Lizzie had a Brain Age, right, on the DS. I don't know. Do we still have it? Because I never tried it.
Well, and then there was also Big Brain Academy. Did y'all? It came out like right around the same time as Brain Age.
I did not.
It's funny. I thought of Brain Quest, which was, I don't know if any of you were familiar with those flashcards that a lot of schools would have.
The like tall, narrow ones.
Yes. They actually did make a game version, like a computer game version.
Yeah, I remember that. But no, Big Brain Academy.
I got in a cereal box.
Big Brain Academy came out around the same time as Brain Age. They actually came out with another one for the Switch like a few years ago.
It did not do well.
It did not do well at all, but it was enjoyable. I actually really thought these were pretty good. It'd give you all sorts of different, brain teasers like tangrams and it was really cool.
Huh.
But yeah, it didn't do well. I enjoyed it, but I think the one that came out for the Switch just came out at the wrong time.
Yeah, timing. It's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just...
But it's like, this is programming right here.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question. If you consider, Brain Age and Big Brain Academy Edutainment, what about Professor Layton? Do you consider that an edutainment game?
I would say...
Like when you start dancing in the puzzle game versus...
I would say, yeah, puzzle game is an interesting mix, but I'd say higher quality edutainment. Honestly, like it's more like with more emphasis on the attainment than most of the others.
Yeah, because it's like I don't think of it as an edutainment. I think of it as a puzzle game. But when I'm looking at like Brain Age, I'm like,
yeah,
well, the puzzles in Professor Layton are better than these.
I think it has to deal with intent in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Like Brain Age is clearly trying to be educational, so having puzzles makes sense. Whereas a puzzle game, the point of it is to be a game that has puzzles.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's a better execution of edutainment.
Yeah. It also it's also sort of our Duolingo conversation as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, because Duolingo's not meant to be a game, just a gamified. Okay, yeah, I see where you're going.
Okay, I'm going to give my horrible definition. Edutainment games are education that is disguised as a game. Games like Professor Layton, that's just a fun game that has educational value.
Well, and a lot of times they drove...
It's not pretending to be a game. It's a game.
Those edutainment games drove sales of computers to school districts.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Typing tutor?
SimCity. I mean, you could argue SimCity was pitched that way.
I mean, think about it.
What in my computer lab?
Yeah.
Like, what if schools bought all those Apples, those Apple IIe's, if it wasn't for, you can have kids play Oregon Trail so they can learn the history of the United States.
You say that in an interesting way, because it's always a fun and interesting way.
You say that SimCity was pitched that way, but I think that went out the window when they added Godzilla.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the monsters and such. But I mean, it had concepts of city planning in there, which is not something that you could interact with any other anything else.
Yeah. Madden teaches you about statistics. So, no.
Everything's an RPG and everything's an education game.
What was the one? It was like there was like a coach game.
Yes.
It was like a Madden game, but you were actually a coach.
There's Football Manager, which is super popular.
That's Manager. The one, Football Manager. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Although that's actually for soccer.
Well, I mean, it's international football, but yes.
Yeah.
It's Association football. There we go.
No, there is one like that for the NFL. Only reason I know about it is it showed up in an odd header video as like it had some weird cut content in it that it's like, yeah, that was a good idea. But yeah, it's a weird dividing line, but it's sort of, I know it when I see it.
Well, I think companies like the Learning Company, very directly, I mean, I think they hired educators to help design the games to teach concepts, and Mech did similar sort of thing.
Yeah.
Since we're on the subject,
I
know we've done a lot of veering, and I do kind of want to veer off for a second because, like, when we were kids, we've talked a lot about, what it was when we were kids. We went to the computer lab, that's where we first met these games.
Mm-hmm.
But, and Lunasar can probably back me up on this being a father, having, like, nieces and nephews who are still in single digits, but maybe getting up there. Nowadays, like, kids don't have to go anywhere to get their edutainment. It comes preloaded on their Amazon Fire HD8 Kids Edition.
Yeah.
My niece Gogo has one of these. Has had one of these since she was, we'll say, able to comprehend things in the world. And I know for a fact that her cousins all have some version of this as well. They play on their tablets. It's monitored by mom and dad. They go through and they, do the educational. Like, it's just right there. And like these days, it's almost pre-baked. Once they come of age to where they can hold a tablet, these are the things that you're putting in front of them because everyone's got some version of something of this. And rather than hand them the phone, let's hand them something that's carefully curated so that they can get, I don't know if I'd say a full-on head start, but, at least puts the educational video game right in their hands from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not saying...
As long as it takes them to destroy it, that is.
That's the idea.
Sorry, I need to take off. I'll talk to y'all later. I've got a family, not an emergency, but just something I got to get to. So I'll see y'all
later, Baggins. But anyway, like it was just something that, like, when I was researching this, having seen all of my nephews and nieces this past weekend, and it was like one of those, like, oh, since we're talking about this, like edutainment is just like right in front of them from the beginning at this point. Yeah.
At the same time,
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking, like, my kids, the between their ability to destroy stuff and especially something tablet, but there's no such thing as kids proof. It's a lie.
No.
Kids tolerant is best.
It's you could get at best kid resistance, but kid proof is just not a thing. No matter what this guy's trying to tell you.
For some reason, I just thought of that episode of Mythbusters where Adam and Jamie got into an argument about the glass they were standing behind. Jamie's like, I said this was bullet resistant, and Adam was like, no, you didn't. And in about 3 seconds, they're going to show everyone that you said, in fact, that this was bulletproof, and they did in fact do it. But I digress. Go ahead.
But still, at the same time, I kind of feel like kids today can still somewhat tell the difference between an entertainment game and a edutainment game, because I don't know, I kind of feel like all the examples we were talking about were more attractive to us to play, to actually want to play it, whereas like a lot of times a lot of these ones for kids are like, this is kind of
well, they're apps.
So
they're super light. They're
weak apps.
To that point.
Because my kids, I mean, I don't know, there was a point they'd rather play like just kind of mindless ones where you're just like cute animals walking around, or they'd want to play like an actual game on the Switch, like there wasn't a whole lot in between.
Like in the case of my niece, like she would play these things on her tablet while mommy or daddy would play their video games.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Lizzie's... and then she would get interested. It's like, what's this you're playing? And now she's a little gamer. Now she's like, Daddy, we're playing Chrono Trigger, which means he's playing Chrono Trigger. Daddy, we're playing Final Fantasy VI, which means he's playing Final Fantasy VI. Daddy, I want you to play the other Final Fantasy, which is 15 or Bro Trip or whatever it is. Like now she dictates what he plays.
Okay, I'm looking in the chat, and Lizzie did point out that we did have one of our apps on our tablets that our kids destroyed called Teach Your Monster to Read, which... Yeah, you were reading to like this cute little monster and teaching it how to read. So, okay, fair enough.
There.
We did have that one. So yes, I'd forgotten about that one.
So,
but but to my point, like this is as opposed to us, where some of us came into this late because it came around when we were coming up. But like nowadays, it's just the way.
So this was Millie's Mathhouse, which is a game that I felt was very confusing in concept because what it's teaching is so rudimentary that by the time that a kid could use a computer, I think they'd already be beyond this. Like it's literally, it's like put 3 jelly beans on
There's so many, but I mean, the controls look incredibly complicated
for a kid.
For just counting to 10.
Of it, look at that loading time to add a sprinkle. There is a loading time to add a sprinkle.
Okay, but what was this on?
Wow.
The Mac 1.12, I think, something like that.
Okay, so like, come on, like that's got like what, like a Dorito for a processor?
But that's still, it's a bad design.
Oh wait, yeah, I'm sorry. This is probably just a toast. But I mean, like, no, like I'm absolutely with you there. Like, I can't imagine somebody like this is something. This is, you know what this game is? This is a game
was stuck in my head too, Pirate.
That you put your kid on your lap while you do the thing, and you narrate what you're doing for them so that they learn that way. Because there's an adult doing this for a kid that's young enough for this to be useful for.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. I just remember this because my parents had it, and I would try and, because we had limited gaming options on the PC, so if I couldn't play,
wait. I'm just thinking the loading time on that jelly bean, and you had to go all the way up to 20.
Yeah,
like that's like what, around 300 times you have to see that loading thing to fill up all the cookies. That's ridiculous.
It's a time sink. It's fiction.
Wow. Holy cow.
This is the digital version of my grandfather playing laps with me and my sisters.
Like, that is grindy. That is like shiny hunting, but no.
I think I've told that story before.
But yeah, so I have one more that I want to, or actually 2 more I want to talk about. So if you guys have ones you are looking to do, pop in.
I threw a couple in the Barbie.
I've really kind of gotten to, like, the other ones that that are mine that are thrown in there, I'm not necessarily attached to. I just wanted to make sure that I had a good representation of all of it in there, just in case.
What did you throw in?
I got to the big ones.
Okay.
I think the only one I've got, the only other one I've got in there is Think Science full gameplay. Which again, I was just looking for like a science program, and I didn't have time to fully vet that one.
I've learned a lot from playing You Don't Know Jack.
Oh wow, there you go.
if you want to count that. But no, that's more of just a trivia game.
So is this the one you added, Pirate?
Yes, this is mech was the most common one that I enjoyed, so I loved all the mech games. This was a kind of a point-and-click adventure game in a museum. Super Solvers looked really similar to this, but you're not a guy that can do somersault jumps. But what's fun is like basically the conceit is you're trapped in a museum and there's like a computer virus of some kind that like corrupts all the exhibits and you have to go and correct basically like the messed up exhibits, and it runs the game. I mean, it's all kinds of historical war things.
As a video game.
I guess you could think of it that way. I mean, you do everything from like programming a probe through an asteroid field to, putting control rods in a nuclear reactor to building Wilbur and Orville's flyer. It was great.
This kid doesn't walk with as much swagger, though.
No, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. I related more to this kid.
To me, this seems almost like a cross between Super Solvers and Journeyman Project Turbo. For goodness sakes,
I don't know that latter one, but
I was kind of a puzzle dungeon crawler on Windows.
Yeah, I mean, like this screen that they're showing here, it's a little like a labyrinth, right? You're going through hallways and whatnot. This is hardly like this is like just this part of the game. Most of the game, you're going in an exhibit that just goes from left to right, and you just go from scene to scene, correcting the things that got messed up.
Well,
yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, I was not aware of this one. Looney, did you have any more that you were hoping to do?
Well, no, because I think the main ones, there's...
We got them.
One, Oregon Trail, Carmen Sandiego, and what was the one I added? The, oh goodness. We talked about it already. Yeah, the Encarta Mind Maze, yeah.
So this is a game that got brought up by multiple people at my workplace. All these people were about 10 to 15 years younger than myself.
Okay, this could be interesting.
Cool Math Games.
Are these Flash?
These were Flash games.
What?
And it was an entire collection of Flash games that once I looked at it, this isn't bad.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a puzzler. I'm just looking at whatever this is here, but
this is kind of remind me of Intelligent Cube, but made into a different style of puzzle.
But they have like a bunch of different games. Like, so there's that shape one. There's this one where it's like you have to draw a line and get the sugar into the.
Oh, that's kind of.
Well, that just looks like Crown Physics Deluxe there.
But then let's see. They also see this one where it's it's basically a Pac-Man, but it's making you think things through.
Again, this is kind of more challenge. Of a puzzle than necessarily something that you're intentionally educating people.
But apparently this was on here as well, this motorcycle game. But
what? This is just a game. Come on.
But multiple of them talked about. There's apparently somewhere in here. This video is an hour long. I didn't.
Where they suddenly start teaching you the inner workings of the internal combustion engine, or what?
Yeah. There's also a lot of math stuff and. Simple things like, like this one where it's like, okay, you're going to fill an order. And so it's about, you know, matching and stuff like that. And doing things in a certain order. But this was something multiple people brought up, and I had never heard of this thing. And it was just one of those things that it goes to show that there is a, you know, an age gap. And
I played a Busy Town game that kind of had similar gameplay to this, honestly.
Wow, that's a thing I hadn't thought about.
Yeah, Richard Scarry, man.
Yeah. Busy Town.
Oh, man.
Okay, but there's one thing I wanted to end on. So, are any of you familiar with the Jumpstart series of games?
Yes.
I think so.
So, I don't know why my parents bought this game, but they had different ones for different grades. And I was a little old for this one, but they bought it. Say hello to Jumpstart 4th grade Haunted Island.
More like Jump Scare.
God's name.
So
Splice,
it starts off.
Cursed imagery have you given us here today?
Because it's like Five Nights at Freddy.
I was fascinated with this. So basically, it's sort of like Miss Frizzle's substitute teacher comes, but she's actually a witch, and she turns all the students into monsters. Her name is Grunkle.
Oh gosh. It looks like they're turning it into Simpsons. But,
so
I've seen this cartoon. This was an 80s cartoon.
Well, this wasn't a cartoon.
Yeah, it was a Halloween. There's a Halloween cartoon where some witch turns
look at this animation. This is like right out of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I don't know if it's that.
Mid-90s.
The style.
But
it's very Courage the Cowardly Dog.
It's very Tim Burton-esque, honestly.
Yeah.
And so it had all these mini games. I remember it having a bat, but like it had an Igor voice. If memory serves me correct. Oh, there he is. But you have to go around, get the key, and like I think I was like in the 6th grade, and my parents bought this, and I was like, "What is this game?" And so I played it a bit when they weren't home, because I was too old for it, because I wanted to figure it out. But then I found out something about this game. This game is an absolute grind fest.
Oh, yeah.
So the guy who's playing it, he gets near the end, and he finally has a key. I can't find where it was. But if he finally gets a key, and it takes a while to get a key. And then finally, he places it in, and the door has like 5 other locks. And it's like, I have to find 5 more keys, and that took me like an hour for this crappy game.
You know, and I almost went and I almost found like, it was Disney Math with Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it didn't make the cut. But it was the same complaints over and over with that, because apparently Disney games, anyone who played Disney games back in the day, were notoriously hard, and the Disney edutainment games were no exception. And I think that's also like something that's probably, gotten a little bit better with time, because I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say that a lot of these games felt grindy.
Yeah.
Like, and not in that fun kind of way, grind.
Well, it was pad,
But like this animation for like the walking is actually like pretty immersive.
It looks nice, but it's also, kind of slows things down.
This game in particular is one of the most annoying games in the world.
Oh, I guess you have to titrate?
So, this is one of the most annoying games in the world. For no other reason than every time you grab one of these, oh my goodness, why am I blanking on what they're called? Droppers. Every time you grab one of the eyedroppers, the witch does her laugh every single time.
Oh.
I don't know who designed this, but
maybe they didn't test it.
Clearly not, because they would have figured out, hey, that's annoying. Like, look at how, like, this is actually fairly smooth. What the heck? Was there a wolf? Yes. There's things that I've never noticed that. There's things peered at you.
Yes, this is like Lost Woods.
But it's just, I was obsessed with this game because I couldn't believe that this was the theming they went with for, a game for fourth graders. Because, like, this is actually fairly intense, like, visuals.
Dude, well, okay. Lizzie just saw, like, a video of, like, kids, movies that were, things that were made for kids that kids shouldn't watch, and, like, half of them were just, like, the Tim Burton kids movies. It's just, was it just our age that we were a little more used to seeing the macabre than, like, kids today? Like, I remember one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up was The Addams Family with, Rule.
But that's been around since
Julia.
the 20s.
Rule Julia.
And there was a live action show back in the black and white era.
It was Tuesday.
Yes.
It is Wednesday.
With John Austin, who is Sean Austin's dad.
So I just want to point this out. This is the first other rhythm game I played. And be prepared for the slowest rhythm game ever.
Oh, wow. You have a pretty big window that you can... that is a very big window for you to get a perfect...
Guitar Hero it ain't.
No.
Worst game of Plants vs. Zombies ever.
But yeah, it's just... I can't believe this thing exists. It just occurred to me there's probably somewhere online that has all the cutscenes, and I can finally sate the curiosity I had as a child. Like, what happened in this game?
Reading the chat, Lizzie, Geometry Wars was an asteroids style game. It was definitely not educational in any stretch of the imagination. It was very colorful, though.
But yeah. Anyway, I just needed to bring this one up because this was stuck in my head for years. And I was worried I wouldn't be able to find it because I couldn't remember anything about it. But I did a search for educational game which takes over school, turns kids into monsters. And sure enough, there's a Reddit thread. Hey, did anyone play Jumpstart 4th grade Haunted Island? That was messed up, right?
That sounds like it's... I'm familiar with the Jumpstart series in general, but it sounds like, whoever was in charge of the 4th grade division is like, how can we set ourselves apart?
And they decided trauma.
Monsters.
Jump scare. Let's call it jump scare.
You know what? It was probably Tim Burton's nephew who was in charge of it.
Could have been. It really could have been. Freaking
Ron Burton.
Ron Burton.
All right. Well, let's get this all wrapped up. Lunasar, do you have anything you would like to promote?
I'll just promote Lizzie's stream, Lizzie Petrichor, where she does shiny hunting, and she's in the middle of a competition right now.
Oh.
And
what type of competition?
It's a showdown, and this one's called Method Mayhem, where they have to find shinies using different methods.
Okay.
And so far, she's the only one on her team that's contributed any shinies, but she's gotten like 2 shinies a day.
Freaking group projects, man.
I know, seriously. Especially because it's like there are some groups that have like a bajillion, and she's like the only one contributing in hers. But there's another group that they're like, oh, this one person's not contributing, and she's like, yeah, well, I'm the only one in mine, and I still have more points than you. So, yep, Method Mayhem. Okay, yeah. But she'll be streaming tomorrow.
Perfect. Pirate.
Yes. Just happy to be here.
Okay. Kamizite.
A couple things real quick. I would like, as always, to promote my fantastic partner, Karina J's story, Entangled Enemies. As always, I've put the link into the self-promotion portion of the Splice stream. Go check it out. She dropped a new chapter last week. She's working on one. Well, she was working on one earlier. She will continue the editing process later on tomorrow. But go check it out. Support her. Give her ink if you have ink to spare. And also, I've kind of lost my mind and made a bunch of music. So here is also a track, a playlist / album that I made and finished right before we came on the air, called Manifest of Mad Stars by the band, quote unquote, Astro Train 8000. Check it out. Or if you just want to check out one thing, check out An Aaron Car 13. I think that's the best track on there.
All right. Perfect. And you all can always find me on twitch.tv or kick.com/splicestream. The Pro Amiibo League is about to kick off this Saturday. First time we've had this in little over 2 years, so I am very excited for it. So come join us and see the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors.
So now that we've all, learned to read, learned to do basic math, learned some history and world geography, I think we've